Hi, everyone. How are you doing? I know you are alive and kicking. Welcome to our channel, the IIEE Cebu chapter. Solar training of IIEE Cebu chapter were initially focused on off-grid solar power system. Off-grid solar projects are very challenging. Many of these off-grid projects have failed due to lack of proper understanding of the solar technology, both the installers and the users. To illustrate further about this solar PV system, basically there are four components needed in this power system. Number one, we need the photovoltaic module or the PV module. So from the solar panel, it generates energy. Here, we have the direct current. So right after that, it goes to the charge controller. This charge controller is a box, electronic box, that is designed to protect the battery from overcharging and over-discharging. The charge controller, the output of that is a DC. That is where the load will be connected. There are two types of load. Number one, of course, we have these DC appliances. Now, in our case, in our household requirements, we have refrigerators. We have lights, the LED lights or fluorescent lighting. They are all alternating current. So we need so-called inverter. Inverter that will convert DC current to alternating current. So with that, we can now use the PV system. In our training module, we are going to share it with you, the parameters to be measured at the monitoring point. Why? Because to become a solar engineer, you must have to know about the parameters. So there are parameters in the system. So we'll have to teach you that. To illustrate further and further, going deeper and deeper, we have the theory, then we will have practical application. That is why the IIEE Cebu chapter designed a system wherein the participants can see the actual position of the inverters, the charge controllers, and of course, the solar panel, and also the battery. So, our IIEE Cebu chapter, we have a pool of trainers, professional electrical engineers, and registered electrical engineer, one of which is been trained in Germany. He is now with us, member of our trainers in IIEE Cebu chapter, Engineer Jun Baklay. Sir Jun? Sir Jun, would you kindly illustrate to us what are these components?
This training kit that you're looking at is part of our hands-on training. For an effective training, there has to be hands-on, meaning the participants has to experience knowledge, not just lecture,
Theory.
but you need to experience measuring and understanding the meaning of parameters, as you mentioned. Our training program is actually patterned from the training that was designed by Dr. Akio Shota. Dr. Akio Shota was an international solar expert from Japan that was dispatched to the Philippines way back in 2005, wherein I was working before with the Department of Energy. Upon learning the method of Dr. Shota, we would like also to replicate or kind of nurture other people, like engineers or electricians, to be trained using the method that was developed by Dr.
That's
Shota.
great.
Yes, sir. Our training kit consists of all these devices, as you mentioned, as charge controller. In this training, trainees will experience the difference between an MPPT or maximum power point tracking charge controller or an PWM charge controller.
Okay.
And we will require our trainees to conduct measurements based on the parameters that you mentioned a while ago, like
Okay.
voltage from the PV, current from the PV,
And then to the load.
and to the load and so on.
Okay.
And you have to be able to explain the meaning of the numbers that you were able to measure.
So meaning to say that, you have the theory, then we have the
Practical.
Practical. With that, theory and practical, that will be synced in our subconscious mind.
That's correct, sir. And it is really the point of our training to emphasize essential and practical knowledge. So we will teach essential and practical knowledge so that people will be able to understand the technology.
You did explain very nice about the system, but what are those components about?
We have the different types of charge controllers that will be tested during the training.
Okay.
And we have also a transfer switch. What we're seeing here is an off-grid solar PV system, a standalone off-grid system with a battery.
What are the expectations of our participants after the training?
Or during the training.
During the training and after the training?
For this training program, we have the hands-on, and we will teach the proper way of installing all the components from the solar panel, how to mount it properly, using standard materials for mounting solar panels like aluminum rails, etc. The proper way of orienting the solar panel,
Yeah.
as well as the wiring, the cabling from the solar panel or the solar PV array going to the DC protection box, and then going to the various components like charge controller, battery, inverter, etc.
So it would be a very clean wiring then, just like this.
Just like this. Just to recall the advice from Dr. Akio Shota that for a sustainable solar power system, the system must be, number one, properly designed.
Properly designed.
Okay,
Yeah.
proper design. So we will also talk about that during the training. Second, the components has to be properly chosen, meaning you have to really require from your suppliers the so-called data sheets.
Data sheets is very important
This should
for
be
the training.
certified components or quality components. The third one is solar components should be properly installed. So we will also emphasize that during our practical training. For your question, what are expected after the training?
Yes, sir, that is
So at the end of the training, we are expecting them to be able to properly install solar PV systems
and troubleshoot.
and troubleshoot as well. Because if we understand the technology, like we understand IV curves or we understand system parameters, once we understand those things, it's quite natural and easy to troubleshoot.
That's
Meaning, we really have to learn the foundation, the practical
basic.
and essential knowledge of the technology so that we can troubleshoot later on. And we can also teach the users properly if we understand the technology.
yes, and also it's very important. You have to educate also the user.
Yes, user education is a very important task of the installer. Hello, Sir Bob. Good afternoon. This setup is actually for training. The reason that we have this type of setup or mounting is so that during the training we can demonstrate the effect of tilting this solar panel at different angles. For example, at horizontal, at let's say 20 degrees, at 45 degrees, etc. So that our trainees will be able to experience what is the effect of the output of the solar panel if we change the tilting of the solar panel. For this demo setup, we can adjust the tilt angle. So we will demonstrate how to tilt this using our setup here. Okay.
And that is all for today. In behalf of our President, Engineer Mario Tebanyag, Engineer June Baklay, our solar trainer, Engineer Brian Pasilan, our technical consultant, to our sponsors, JBR Electrical and Mechanical for fabrication of customized solar mounting and electrical works. And to Sun Invest Solar for technical support. Watch out for the announcement regarding our solar training. It's the combination of lecture and hands-on. Maximum of 12 trainees to avoid overcrowding, maintaining social distancing protocol. Get in touch with our secretariat at IIEE Cebu chapter for more details. This is Bob Cobb signing off. Bye.